Ambassador, the situation in Kosovo is tense. EU and United States are calling for de-escalation of the situation, but how it will be implemented?
So it is very tense, and we have said unequivocally that we need the immediate unconditional return of the 3 Kosovo police officers who have been taken to Serbia. But we also need both sides to de-escalate, and so we have supported the EU's 3-point plan for de-escalation, and we will stand by it and insist that both sides take this situation to a cooler level where we can make progress instead of talking about incidents that crop up again and again.
Does the new situation in which Albin Kurti refuses to implement some of what US demands can put a shadow on bilateral issues?
Look, the path forward is not easy. It requires action from both sides. And we are pleased to see that on the Serbian side there is some demobilization of the military, which is one of the things that needs to happen, but it's not enough. There also needs to be, as I say, the return of those Kosovo police officers back to Kosovo. But yes, we are counting on our Kosovar partners as well to take action to recall the mayors to another location from which they can work. They are democratically elected officials, but they should work from a different location so that we can cool the situation down, and then we can have another set of elections, hopefully with fuller participation, so we can get back into a democratic process and then work on the steps in the dialogue that would see the normalization of relations between the two sides. It is very important that we move quickly to get back on that track, because unfortunately when we don't, we see what happens. Things move in the opposite direction.
Yes. Can we expect for Washington to undertake new sanctions to Pristina?
Look, I'm not going to preview any future steps. Our preference, our strong preference, is to work with the two sides to get back on track, to support the EU's 3-point plan, and to get to a place where we are talking about the implementation of an association of Serb municipalities and the other elements of the basic agreement that was worked out here in Ohrid to normalize relations between Serbia and Kosovo.
There were new statements and messages from Moscow. They said that the rhetoric of Kosovo will threaten the territorial integrity of North Macedonia and the others. How do you comment this?
Look, Russia has engaged in a variety of information operations across the Western Balkans space that has frankly not been conducive to promoting stability and security in the way that we see it as like-minded states. Russia has its own agenda for the region, which is to maximize their influence. It is often at cross purposes with other countries in the region. I mean, look at what Russia is doing in Ukraine. They are not a credible partner right now on any security matter.
North Macedonia now faces with the political crisis. We need to change the constitution to continue the negotiation process with European Union. What kind of risks will be happen in future if we won't change the constitution in the next period?
Well, look, the United States has long supported North Macedonia in its Euro-Atlantic trajectory, and I am proud to have been part of the process that resulted in your NATO accession. That was a huge milestone. Now we want to see the other half of that critical piece of a Europe whole, free and at peace realized, which is European Union membership. And there are some difficult conditions that are being put on North Macedonia, and we recognize that. We are frank. We would like to see this process move ahead as quickly as possible because we believe it's in the interest of the people who live here to be in the European Union, to have some of those privileges but also responsibilities. I think it will make the country more integrated into the Western Balkans, certainly more integrated with Europe. But yes, there are challenges.
The last messages actually from the last visit, official visit from the Senator Murphy, he said that if we won't change the constitution in the next period, it will affect on the relations between official Washington and Skopje. What does it mean, actually, this?
Look, we have a very strong.
Because some of the people here actually meant that it's a threat. So.
Look, I'll let Senator Murphy's words speak for themselves, and he can address what he meant. What I will tell you is that we have a very strong bilateral relationship, and certainly we value everything that North Macedonia is doing to bring stability to the region, including their chairpersonship of the OSCE, which is critically important. And we believe that there is a political path forward. It is not going to be easy, however. And so we are speaking to various different political forces and encouraging a path forward, recognizing that, look, you've been asked to do a lot of difficult things over the years, including changing the name of your country. But ultimately, when we look back on some of those very difficult concessions or agreements that were made, like the Prespa agreement, one looks back and one sees that this did in fact open up a new pathway for the country. It did allow you to join NATO, and we see a similar pathway now, albeit with similar challenges.
The latest polls show that the most popular politician in the country is Vladimir Putin. Do you think maybe perhaps that this actually uses Russia in their favor and the situation in the region and in the country?
Well, honestly, I hadn't seen that. I don't understand how a leader who is presiding over a war of aggression that has resulted in countless mass atrocities, war crimes, and frankly, crimes against humanity is seen as popular anywhere. I understand that propaganda and disinformation play a role in this, yes, and that is certainly the case, but individuals need to make informed judgments by looking at the facts of what is happening on the ground. And right now, there is one country led by one person that is waging a war of choice. This is not a war that was necessitated by anything. This was a war of choice that was launched against a peaceful neighbor for no reason other than imperial subjugation. And so we have to acknowledge that.
We will return back to domestic issues. There is a political debate about the changing of the constitution. My last question is, what are your messages to the political actors in the country, especially to the opposition, about the changing of the constitution, because the opposition is the one who doesn't want to change now?
Look, I'm an American diplomat. It is not my role to tell a politician who represents their constituency what they should and shouldn't do. That said, we, the United States, see an opportunity now for North Macedonia to move forward with its European Union membership, which is a strategic goal of this country and has been a strategic goal for many different, various political actors here in this country. And so we think that this is an opportunity, and it should be seized, because we don't know when this opportunity will arise again. I fully recognize that the Macedonian people have been asked to do a lot of very difficult things over the course of the last decade, very difficult things, and that this is an issue that touches on people's identity and their sense of who they are. I understand that, and I sympathize, and I completely respect alternative views of this. But I also, geopolitically and strategically, I see this opportunity to cement the country as part of a Europe whole, free, and at peace. And for us, for the United States, we want to support you in that effort however we can. It's for you to make this decision, for Macedonian politicians to make the decision, but we see this as an opportunity.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.